Do you think when a woman is withholding sex as manipulation, or can it be for self protection? Do you think it's more or less for self protection?
I would say self-protection is in most instances, but in others, I will say manipulation because I know people personally that do it. And it's like, okay, if you say he did something or you took him back or you forgave him, are you actually giving him a chance? Because it's like now you're repeating the same, behavior patterns that you are, and those aren't healthy either. So y'all still gonna be messed up.
Right, right. So, who do you think do this the most, men or women?
Women.
Okay.
Most men don't be caring if they eat. They don't care if you don't cook all the time, but don't withhold the snacks.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's because a lot of women are taught that their sex is valuable, is valuable, I should say.
Right,
Um,
right.
and it holds, I think that's just a tradition. I think most women are taught that in the early
Hmm.
ages. Um,
Right, right.
but let me ask you this: why do some people feel powerful after using sex to get what they want?
Because they look at how the person treats them or what they getting out of it.
Right.
And if it's working in their favor, then they believe the power lies in it.
Right. Yeah, because I think it feeds their ego too as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a form of
Of course.
it's a form of control. Um,
Right.
and I also believe that it's like how do I want to say this? It's like it's short term power, but it usually damages the long term trust. That's what I want to say when that's being done.
You're right.
Right? Okay. But
Hmm.
I noticed earlier you said that you've done it before. And when you said that you've done it
Hmm.
before, what was the reason that caused you to be like that?
Because I had suspicions that the person was cheating. And I'm not gonna lay down with you and risk, me having to go to the doctor or something when asking you to tell me the truth because it did come out that they were, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I just pay attention to my intuition. If I'm loving on you and I feel that you're amazing and I'm into you and stuff like that, I'm not just gonna flip the switch on you. I'm not that type of person. So if something is going off in me or I started second guessing things, I'm not insecure about anything. I go off of what I'm being presented with, and that's what I go with. And I give you the opportunity to tell me.
Right.
But if you don't want to tell the truth, and I'm feeling like this because I haven't been wrong yet with nan feeling that I had in my 45 years of life. I haven't been wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that intuition kicks in or whatever. And I'm like, okay, now I have to protect myself because if you're out there doing something you don't even want to be honest, I don't want to be in that pool with you. That was the purpose of me being with one person.
Right. Right. So let me say this. So, do you think in today's society, sex is being used as a reward more than a connection?
So in today's society, I think they just doing it just because people doing it because of whatever they attracted to with that person. You a whole vibe or whatever, let's get to it, and really don't even know the person
Right. Right.
or whatever they trying to get up out of.
Right. Absolutely. Because I think many people treat sex like a prize, for good behavior instead of,
Yeah.
instead of a shared moment of love and passion. That's what I
Mm.
believe. Those are my
Right.
thoughts. I believe that's why people doing what they do. That's
Yeah.
why I believe that's
But
why the
that's what I'm
world
saying.
the way it
But
is now.
for the dating order, the people having sex, prematurely on the first date, or they don't even get to know the person, we can't say they doing it, for good behavior, because you don't even know this person.
Right, right,
You just doing stuff.
right. Absolutely.
He fine and he got money. Oh, I'm finna give it to him.
Yeah. So what's the difference between sexual confidence and sexual manipulation? What do you think what do you think the difference is here? And I'm gonna tell you what I
Sexual
think.
confidence is a mental thing. For me, I think the sexual confidence is like a mental thing. It goes along with your aura, nurturing, just all of those embodied. Sexual manipulation is you using what you got, you know what I'm saying, to manipulate somebody into
Get what you want.
either
Right.
being with you or staying with you, or you trying to obtain something from them. Yeah.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, well, you kind of nailed that, but that's pretty much where I was going with it. And I agree with you
Hmm.
100% on that. But let me ask you
Okay.
this. How does that affect the relationship? When a woman does this, how do you think that affects the relationship?
Because, say for instance, if something happened in a relationship, like somebody gets sick or somebody lose a job, or just, life things that be happening or whatever, and it starts to be a disconnect, it was never no real love there because it was manipulated.
Right. Okay.
It was a lack of intimacy.
Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think when love feels conditional, emotional safety disappears.
Right.
And then on top of that, in
Absolutely.
in the bedroom, I think then the bedroom becomes a battleground and not a bond. Because now it's like opposed to you guys being intimate with one another, now you're bumping heads.
Right.
Yep. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or it just becomes a dormant act because she like, come on, just hurry up and get it over with.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. But do you think a lot of men notice when sex is being used as leverage?
Of course. Of course they do.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, at some point, at least every man have been with one woman saying, this is my first love, or, even if they be like, I only had two relationships. So they got a chance to experience real love and then, dating and experience all the other stuff. So they can tell.
Right. Well, in today's society, it's definitely not hard to tell because it appears that
Right.
a lot of women, I ain't gonna say all women. I'm gonna say half the women, maybe even more than half.
Hmm.
It appears that they only want one thing and one thing only anyway. It's like to me it appears as if nobody is looking for
Right.
that real genuine connection anymore. You know, everybody wants to see
You're
how
right.
they can benefit from the relationship. My thing is this: if you're not feeling a person, or if you're really not into a person, then why lead that person on? Why
Right.
make that person feel or believe that there's
Because if
something there? Right. When there's something there when there's really nothing there. Because this is and
because
this
they're manipulating the situation to get what they want out of it.
absolutely,
They
and it
don't
shouldn't
want them.
be
They
that it
want what
shouldn't
they
be that way.
have. That's why.
Because if you're not interested, if
Right.
this person holds no value in your life, or this person doesn't mean anything to
Right.
you, then why even go the extra mile? Why even entertain it?
Right.
This is the reason why a lot
Right.
of this shit is happening in today's
But guess
society. A
what?
lot of these men is killing these women and doing this and doing that and beating them up, and
Right.
because they playing with people's emotion. They playing with people's feelings. And
But
that
guess
could be a
what?
dangerous game.
But guess what? So it is. But when do the men take some accountability? Because you'll get a person like me that, and I'm not saying a man shouldn't be able to provide to some degree or do something, to help or whatever, or have something going on for himself. I'm not saying that, but if I'm just getting to know you, I'm not saying you have to leave with your wallet. I'm trying to see if you got all your marbles. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying
Right,
to see what your mindset is like. What intellect do you have? What your core values are? What things are near and dear to your heart. Where do you see yourself, going forward and stuff like that. So them the questions I'm asking. Forget what your color is. So my whole thing is, for me, it's like I will be the person that end up getting hurt or getting ghosted or whatever terms they want to use today, because they done dated so many of these other people that misuse them. Now when they get to me, because a lot of men don't take the time to heal, it's like all women are the same. Or they
right,
look at me,
right,
like most people look at me and say, "Oh, she high maintenance, she this and that." But I do all of this stuff myself. So for the man that's looking at me, it's like now he thinking I'm just like them. So it's like you end up missing out on the opportunity of possibly being with a good woman because you kept repeating the cycle of dealing with these women that only wanted to misuse you.
right,
So what haven't you healed inside of you before you really, what I'm saying, be honest with yourself so you can get the love and, respect and relationship or whatever it is that you're looking for.
right, right.